Good Times. Today I have a very special guest. Hunter, say what's up.
What's up, what's up?
How's the day going, bro?
It's good, feeling good.
Fight night, how you feeling about it?
Good, excited, a little nerves here and there, but pretty calm and collected for the most part.
Yep. Yesterday you had the weigh-ins, you were what, 1 pound below, right? Yeah.
54, yes sir.
So how hard is it for you to usually make weight most of the time?
For me, it's really not that hard. Some people are pretty surprised when they hear I fight lightweight, 155, being that I'm 6'4", and with a pretty decent frame. But, if you stay disciplined, you keep that discipline real hard, then it's not that hard. It's about not falling for the easy stuff,
Yeah, so, with all, I guess we usually like to get like a little background, where you're from, life growing up. So, are you from Texas?
I'm not from Texas, actually. Okay. Yeah, I'm from Boulder County, Colorado, just south of Boulder, actually. It's called Longmont, the city I'm from.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What, is it more like country? Is it a nice little city, or how's that?
It's like half and half, right in the middle of it, pretty much. Just outside the city, there's a good little cow town, but then on the inside, it's a nice little city area.
Uh-huh. What was like? I don't know. What was life like growing up for you? Was it like school, everything? Were you a popular kid?
I was kind of like not an outcast, but at the same time, I was always like playing all the sports. I was with all the people, but when they were going out and stuff, I wasn't really going out with people too much. My parents kind of made it to where it was more fun to be at home partying with the family rather than be partying with like other people. I've always kind of put family above most, so it's like for me it was a lot of just staying at home. Real strict parents too, so not really allowed to
having strict parents is good and bad because they make sneaky kids.
Straight up.
What like a memorable childhood story you got?
Man, there's definitely a couple because I got two older brothers, and I was kind of getting a lot of the brunt of a lot of the stuff that we go through. And if it was something broken, it was usually try to be thrown on me or something like that. So a lot of stuff like that, just little stuff, but nothing too crazy.
Be honest, did you ever sneak out of your parents' house?
Sneak out? No, I would say like, oh, we're going here, but we're actually going somewhere else. Okay. Little things like that, but no, honestly, I had just so much respect for my parents that I didn't want to kind of stray from the line too much. I was whatever they wanted.
How long have you been training for?
So in jiu-jitsu, I've been training for about 5 years. For MMA, probably for about 2.5 years. And then, like I said, I played sports my whole life, football, basketball. So I've always been doing some sort of work. So,
I guess those other sports kind of, you gained the mentality and the training, the physicality from it. But like, how hard was it for you to shift into fighting?
Yeah, so I played a little bit of football in college, about a year and a half. And so like all that discipline that was like came from that, it was being up before the sun comes out, freezing cold in South Dakota. So it's like pretty hard work playing football. And so that transferred over big time. And once I quit, it really was not that hard. Just I needed something to do. Like I'm a super competitive person. I got to if we're trying to get down the stairs, I'm gonna try to beat you down the stairs first type of person. So, once I kind of found jiu-jitsu happenstantially through a guy named Jocko Willink. You might have heard of him, I'm sure.
Okay, the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a beast for sure. So once we kind of came across him for the discipline side of what he teaches, I then found out that he does this thing called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was like, man, I got to kind of look into that. And me and my brother and my dad, they're here with me today. We all kind of just like, let's just clear the living room out and let's just start rolling on the ground right now. Just cleared it on the carpet, rug rash all over by the time we're done, cat hair in our mouth and shit. Like,
hey, I guess that's where you really start learning, right?
Oh yeah. We didn't know how to attack. We just knew we weren't trying to die, so we were just like cats going all over each other. It was a lot of fun, but that's how it started. Just literally clearing out the living room, and it was actually during COVID, so we had a solid stint of time where we were just like rolling every day, just messing around, learning whatever we could. And it brought us to a point where when we got to a gym for the first time, which was about after that whole stint of them doing the lockdowns and shit, we were already capable of defending. We couldn't attack, but we could defend. So it was kind of like, people were like, well, you've never been in a jiu-jitsu gym before, but you're comfortable on your back, you're comfortable in these positions and stuff. So it was like,
I guess with COVID, you had, it was different for everybody, but it could have been very beneficial, very bad, because I guess for you guys, if you use it to use your free time to train, that helped, I'm sure it helped you in the long run.
Big time, yeah. For some people, they got told they had to stay home and they used it as an excuse just to sit on the couch. But the second that I found out I was going to be at home, I was up in my workout room at home at the time in Colorado. And I was just working out every day, finding where my weaknesses were. And that was where the start of this MMA career journey, believing in myself, really thinking that I could do something with this.
I forgot to ask you earlier, but how old are you?
I'm 25.
25, okay.
Yes, sir.
So, you're at a fairly good age to start in the MMA world, you're already an amateur fighter, right?
Right, correct.
So, you were training for about 3 years before you got your first amateur fight?
Just about, yeah, just about.
Okay. How did you go about getting your first amateur fight booked? Was it something Justin set up, or did you ask somebody to set it up, or?
Yeah, so it really all started with after doing it for long enough in Colorado, I realized that I needed to find a gym that could take me to where I was trying to go, because I wasn't just trying to do this for fun. Like I'm truly trying to run this shit. So when I figured that out, I just decided that I'd look at what gyms were out there that were kind of the most highest opportunity with not too many people inside of the gym taking away from the attention. And I saw Kevin Holland, probably 2 or 3 fights, and I was like, man, this guy like talks so much and he's so entertaining. It's like to the point where I was like, I'm not the best at speaking. I could learn how to speak from this guy to be like more that brash kind of like put myself in the room kind of guy. Yeah. And then I was like, and there's not that many other fighters underneath him. Usually you like hear about like a certain fighter and they got like a bunch of feeder fighters underneath them. They're part of like one of these big old camps, and for them it sounded like it was just a BJJ school that he goes to and trains at. And I messaged them a bunch of times. Didn't get no messages were back from Kevin, but I hit up like Justin, and eventually me and my lady came and visited out here. And I let them know that I was trying to make a career out of this, and whatever the route was to go to make my way here, I was going to come here. And then I was going to have a fight. So Justin's the one that hooked me up.
You relocated, like moving, like houses just to train here?
Man, straight up, we packed everything in a U-Haul. We didn't even have a home to stay out here yet. We were on our way here, like trying to find spots, like kind of stressing. We actually picked up a silver Labrador on the way. Okay. So we had an extra mouth to feed. And then right when we got here, we found this spot that we were kind of in contact with. And they were like, well, we could do a walk around with you and show you one of the apartments. So we're like, let's do it. Like, let's do a walk around right on the spot. Just pick up the apartment.
That's respect, because that's a risk most people aren't willing to take.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sometimes in life, you just got to go for it. Like,
100%.
Like, you're not guaranteed to get nothing out of it, but at the same time, you're not guaranteed that you won't.
Yeah, 100%.
And at the same time, it's not like it's not helping you. You're learning. You have the possibility to train here with people that are in the UFC that could get you there one day.
Yes, sir.
How was your first amateur fight like?
First amateur fight, man.
Were you nervous?
Honestly, I don't get super nervous. I get like a little bit of the nerves and a little bit of the excitement. I think just from playing football and stuff like that, performing under the lights and stuff, and I would get thrown into positions like as a freshman in college. I was having to run routes and catch balls on the field in games, and I was like, not that I was like really that good or anything, but like just being in those uncomfortable positions already, that I think I kind of got used to that, and for whatever reason, I just keep confidence in the preparation that I've kind of put into it. And like I said, I put myself around a good group of guys to know that. And I'm not stressed about the outcome, because at the end of the day, right now I'm in my amateur part of my career. I'm just trying to figure out as much as I can. I've got this weight cut thing kind of really rocked out and solid, and all the lead up I'm pretty solid at. And now it's just getting to the fight and making it all happen.
Yeah, like when you wake up on fight day, like what's like your routine? Like, is there you have to eat a certain type of way? Do you have to go train a little before the fight?
Yeah, I'm definitely eating clean for sure. I'm not trying to. I've made the mistake in my past fights where I eat too much, trying to just like. It's been so long since I got to have a full meal, so then I eat too much or eat too fast, and it'll slow you down. So I try to definitely get an early meal in. That way, I'm kind of digesting throughout the day, and deciding whether or not I need a snack later on, right before the fight, kind of thing. Maybe a bar or two here and there, fruit. And I like to do a little bit of a shakeout, like at home, whether it be hitting mats with someone or kind of like pummeling and working some of the routines, like the routes that I plan on doing in the fight, little shit like that. Some like picturing what I'm expected to do and kind of playing it out, kind of that kind of route. So
you're 1-1, right?
Yes, correct.
So did you lose or win your first fight?
My first fight I won.
Okay, I guess that's a good thing, because it's like if your first one maybe would have been the one that you lost. Do you think it would have been like a hit to your confidence in a way?
I mean, I don't think it would hit my confidence too much. I know today that I got so much to work on. I mean, like when you're in the room with a killer like Kevin or some of the dudes that he trains with, it's pretty easily be humbled quickly. You just got to look around, and so I know I got plenty of work to do. So whatever happens, it's like I'm not going nowhere. Like a lot of people say, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, but I'm here for a long time and a good time.
Hell yeah! I mean, you kind of have to be, because you can't just be too reckless. You gotta. It sounds like you. I mean, if you take that big leap to come here just to train here, I mean, it'll pay off for sure.
Straight up, yeah.
What did your parents think about you like joining the MMA world?
Yeah, in general, they obviously telling them that I'm just going to start driving towards this state and figuring it out. They were definitely a little nervous about that, but you know, they for whatever reason trust me, and they just are kind of like, do what you're going to do, and they let me kind of do my thing, and so they didn't hold back on me at all. But as far as like with the fights and stuff, it definitely hits my mom probably the hardest. At least it doesn't show on my dad too much, but for as far as my mom, like it hits her pretty good.
I mean, I'm sure your dad is more like, get beat his ass.
Right.
Like, your mom is like, you know, no mom wants to see the son get hit in the face, you know.
Yeah, I feel bad sometimes, but I mean,
do you recall what's the worst hit you've taken in both of those fights?
So I mean, technically the worst hit would be my first fight. I got dropped actually. It was I can't remember what round it was. I think it would have to have been the first round, because second round I choked the dude out, rear naked choke, standing, and yeah, he just caught me with the overhand, and my corner was telling me the whole time to kind of sit back, let that overhand fly, and then engage, like quit sitting in there and just trying to trade. But at the time, I just didn't have that distance management and, you know, a little bit of that extra IQ inside of the cage. So he got me with that overhand, dropped me against the wall, and the second I looked up, he was right there, coming in with the second one, and had to wrestle up real quick, get to my feet, and turned it around pretty quickly after that.
Like for you, I know like different people, you know, different fighters have different body physiques, body styles. So maybe certain hits will hurt you more than others. What's like the hit that hurts you the most? Is it a rib shot, leg shots?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like at the end of every fight so far, I mean, it's only been 2, but my legs are pretty cheesed after the fights. Like they're sore, and I'll be taking my time to get to the restaurant after the fights usually. But that being said, like I don't feel nothing until the fight's over. Like once that fight's over, then kind of the adrenaline starts kind of chilling out and start feeling some of the soreness. But I haven't had any pain except for that. That's the only spots,
You know, do you currently work? Do you have a job, or is it just you strictly focusing on your MMA career?
Yeah, right now I'm currently doing like part-time car detailing, a little bit of paint correction type work, and then I deliver Uber Eats anywhere around training. So I'll wake up, deliver Uber Eats for a couple hours, depending on the day, maybe go train for an hour, then go to my detail shop, and then after that come back and train again.
So, but you train every day?
Damn near. I definitely take off the weekends, but on those weekends I'm maybe doing like a run or doing some sort of like something, whether it would be recovery or building somewhere. And then Fridays I like to take off a little bit too. So it just kind of depends. Like when I'm in camp, I'm kind of doing a little bit more on those Saturday, Sundays with working out, kind of like getting my legs under me and stuff.
You know, I gotta ask you, who's someone like your favorite UFC fighters?
I mean, for sure I'm gonna tell you Kevin's, because I was gonna uproot my whole life just to be able to train under him. But as far as like feeling like the type of style that I want to fight and the type of like fighter that I'm trying to kind of emulate, you know, there's like the Sugar Seans, there's like the Corey Sandhagens, those guys that like to stay on the outside, kind of poke, move, like finding their shots, using their length. Israel Adesanya, you know, a lot of the guys that are tall for their weight class is what I'm kind of looking at, just because that's kind of where I'm at, you know. I have a tall frame, but I don't have a wide frame, so it's kind of similar to those guys that are in those divisions where it's like, you might be like Sean 135, but you're like 6 foot, and that's not really heard of, you know. Yeah. So it's kind of,
because when I was talking to Justin yesterday at the Hooters, he was telling me about you. He said, he's 155, but he's 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, that you know, it's but like naturally that's with the weight cut, but naturally you're about like 175, 170.
Yeah, just about 170. I swelled back up. I checked this morning. I was sitting at 171, so I'm sitting up pretty high right now.
You know, does that ever worry you when you fight your opponent and, you know, you guys weighing at 155? You might come up to 170, but that other guy, he might find a way to come back up to maybe closer to higher 170.
Right.
Is that a big disadvantage in a fight?
You know, it would depend on the person. They would have to have done it in the past, kind of thing. Like you wouldn't want to just do that for the first time in a fight. Like you want to know how heavy you feel, how slow it might make you feel. Yeah. At least I would assume. That's one of the big parts that I like to be on that tall side of my division, because I don't expect a lot of these shorter guys to be able to be that much bulked up, to be like they'll be a little bit more muscled out because they're a little bit shorter, stouter people, but I don't expect them to swell up quite as much as I'm capable of.
Okay. What would be like your dream fight in the UFC?
Like person to fight?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Like across the board, I always said, there was a dude I used to work with at Wana, is a edible gummy company. Okay. We would always talk about how I was going to fight Kamaru Usman. I was going to take the belt from him. That's what I was going to do. We would say it all the time. So that would be a badass fight. Yeah. it'd be something I could do that for sure.
You know, realistically, right? Do you think like maybe you think you have the ability right now? If you were to go fight one of maybe an unranked UFC fighter, or maybe one of the lower ranked UFC fighters, do you think you'd stand a chance with them currently?
I think I'd stand with them, but I'm gonna be 100% humble. Like I know that there's levels to this game. I've been with guys where I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I could take that guy, and then I find out their record after we go, and it's like, man, now it makes sense why they kind of had me in that round and shit. So,
what do you think, like training MMA, and what has taught you the most, maybe on a mental level or life level?
Definitely teaches, well, and kind of like the test just your will and like who you are. Like you'll find out who you are. If you're going to be someone when, you know, bullets start popping, are you going to be running, or are you going to be trying to help someone out? Or are you going to be someone that's like going to freeze and not know what to do? Or are you going to kind of react and hop into the moment? So it kind of has taught me that, you know, it's taught me how, it shows how much of a bitch I am, and then shows me how much of a bitch that I could like get out of me kind of thing. Because it truly shows you like, are you going to be a bitch this round? Are you going to like sit out? Are you going to feel too tired or feel sorry for yourself? Or are you going to start to like turn it into like, you need to do something?
Yeah, you know, because you know, what's it called? If you could right now, if you could go back to the time where you just first started training, what would be the biggest piece of advice you'd tell yourself?
If it was at the very beginning, I would tell myself start MMA ASAP. Like don't just like, because at the time I was thinking I could learn some jiu-jitsu and kind of like get my base of some sort before I kind of jumped into the striking. Yeah. But if I would have, like, and not like it was that far off, it was only like 2.5 years, but learning it together, making it to where it's one cohesive like machine instead of like trying to piece the striking with the wrestling, with the, you know, the grab, the jiu-jitsu, then it's like, it's a lot easier if it was just, hey, learn it all together so you could, off of a punch, be going into a takedown, be going into a submission, whatever it might take.
But tonight, right? How do you think your fight will play out? Because I mean, I'm not too sure who your opponent is, but I'm sure you maybe had to do a little bit of studying.
100%.
How do you see it going? What type of fighter is he?
Yeah, so he's a little bit of a striker for sure. Hasn't shot on any opponents in the past that we saw. Okay. I expect him to kind of be, you know, like 3 to 4 combo fighter, kind of like pressure a little bit, pressure off, pressure a little bit, pressure off. So my goal is going to be to just stay on the outside, poke and stab, kind of like I was saying with those taller fighters, and use my range to be able to stay on the outside and kind of move around him a little bit. But I think that like around the second round, I think that I'll probably wear him enough, because I'll be on my bike just moving. Yeah. I'll wear him enough to where I could probably get a takedown or get him to a position on a wall, drag him to the ground, and either ground and pound him out or put a submission on him somewhere.
Oh yeah, what round do you think will be a
second round?
Second round, okay. Oh, yeah, it's at the Texas Live Arena, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever fought at Texas Live?
This is my first time.
First time. Because there is a bigger crowd there, right?
Yes, sir.
You think you'll be a little bit more nervous, or are you ready for it?
To be honest, I don't even think about that part of it too much. You know, and this is gonna be the biggest showing out of my people too. A lot of people are coming out for this. Yeah. So it's gonna be a big one for sure. But I got a little bit of a hack because I got glasses. I don't wear contacts in there, so I actually have pretty bad vision, to be honest. Okay. So I can't see outside the cage. So it's just us. It's just me and homeboy in the cage. No one else is around us. Adrenaline kicked on. I can't hear shit anyways. It's another Wednesday and I'm flying.
You know what your prescription is? Because I wear contacts.
-5.
Yes, sir. Yo, that's yes, sir. You know, because I'm a -3.5 and I feel blind.
Yes, sir.
So like, how do you manage to fight someone? You know, like you guys are trying to not kill each other. You guys are trying to knock each other down.
Oh yeah.
How do you fight someone where you're limited vision?
So that's the hack right there. So since you know you have bad vision, you know that like if it's out here, it's blurry. But maybe once we get in a little bit closer, then you start seeing more and more. Yeah. So I could tell once I see a certain amount of you, you're close enough to get at me. If you're super blurry, you can't touch me anyways. So it's kind of like a hack to know my distance with my blurriness.
You know, you sound like that Mortal Kombat fighter, Kenji, the blind one.
That's funny.
You get to pick your walkout songs for today?
Oh, yeah.
What walkout song you walking on to?
Dude, every fight is going to be Marty Robbins' Big Iron.
You know, I don't know that song.
You don't know, man. It's a classic for sure.
I'm going to hear it tonight.
Yes, sir.
Wait, how come you chose that song?
So my nickname is Big Iron. That's what I go by. And I picked it first off just because I'm a little bit of an old soul. You know, my parents raised me right to like listen to some real kind of older music. Yeah. When I first heard that song, all I pictured was like it's basically a song about a showdown between a Texas Ranger and an outlaw. Yeah. And the Texas Ranger comes into town and is looking for this outlaw, hunting him down. And the first time when I thought about it, I was actually fighting in Oklahoma for the most part. So in my head, I'm like, I'm this Texas fighter. I'm coming in here and I'm going to fucking like disrupt Oklahoma's day and I'm going to come catch their outlaw.
Yeah.
And so same concept. Don't matter what state we're in. You know, I'm the big iron. I'm coming in to put on that show.
Hell yeah. When you win this fight tonight, where does that set you up in the amateur leagues? Would you be like considered ranked or not yet?
I mean, there's definitely some rankings if you were to go on like SureDog or one of those type of organization websites or whatever. But I'm not 100% positive since this will be my first time in Texas too. I'm sure there's different ranking systems in the states and stuff. This kid, I don't know what his ranking is, to be honest. As far as amateur goes, I'm just not too worried about that right now. I know that I beat this kid, they're going to be like, here's the next guy, and I'll beat that guy, they send the next guy, and then eventually they're going to be like, hey, let's give him a little AMI title fight, and we'll take it from whoever has it.
Well, I'm coming down to like the last few questions, so what would be like your dream city, venue, place of fight?
Man, I mean, Abu Dhabi, like they be fighting over there, that'd be crazy.
That place is crazy.
Bring my family out there to see that. That'd be my goal for sure.
Yeah.
But really just anywhere my family hasn't been, I want to just take them there, show them some spots around the world.
You know, that's the beauty of it, because once you work your way up, you'll have the opportunity to fight in different cities, different countries.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you get to go out there. It's almost like a work vacation. You get to go out there to do what you love while being able to enjoy it as well.
Straight up.
You know, one thing I like to ask everyone that comes on the show, if you had a chance to give the whole world a message, what would it be?
Man, find God, love God. That's my biggest thing I'd say, you know. Any kind of time that I feel stressed and I start to remind myself of God and His capabilities and what He's given to us and everything, is just calmness. That brings the most calm. So,
if you feel comfortable sharing, was there a moment that made you realize that where God found you?
To be honest, it would probably be, I can't remember the date or anything like that, but it was at some point it was like I just like, a lot of my family drinks alcohol and stuff, and I kind of like pulled away from it, told myself I would never have a sip again, and it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've really been on that. I think I was 21. I turned 21 when I decided to stop drinking, which is kind of funny. But
I respect that. That's not easy to do at all. Especially, it's very easy to be out somewhere with your buddies or with your family. Hey, take a sip. No, it's 100%. Hard to do that.
100%.
Well, Hunter, I appreciate you, bro, for coming on.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, I'm gonna be there at the fight tonight. I wish you all the best luck, and I'm gonna listen to that song for the first time. So,
yes, sir.
Thank you so much, bro. I mean, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, G.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We out, man.
Maybe we should call